As the sun dipped below the horizon, the small coastal town of Harbor's End basked in the eerie glow of an impending hurricane. The townsfolk had grown accustomed to the capriciousness of nature, but this storm felt different, ominous, like a vengeful deity. Paul Weston, a middle-aged fisherman with salt-bleached hair and deep lines etched into his weathered face, stood at the edge of Harbor's End, gazing at the churning sea. The wind whipped through his clothes and the salty spray stung his eyes. Clutched in his trembling hand was a weathered photograph, a treasured memory of happier days. The photograph depicted Paul's wife, Emily, and their young daughter, Lily, both of whom had been lost in the last hurricane that had ravaged the town. He had spent years wrestling with grief, haunted by the memories of that fateful day. Now, with the latest hurricane approaching, Paul felt an inexplicable urge to venture into the Tempest. The townspeople had long evacuated, but Paul had no intention of leaving. With every crashing wave and howling gust of wind, he felt Emily's presence, urging him to protect what little remained of their family. Clinging to the photograph, he trudged through the gale-force winds, determined to face the oncoming hurricane head-on. The town was rapidly deteriorating, with buildings being torn asunder by the fury of the storm. Debris and seawater filled the streets, creating a treacherous labyrinth. The eerie glow of the hurricane's eye loomed ominously in the distance. Paul's journey led him through the wreckage of his once beloved town. He encountered broken storefronts and shattered homes, symbols of the countless lives shattered by the relentless forces of nature. His heart ached for the loss of Lily's laughter and Emily's comforting embrace. A mile from Harbor's End, Paul stumbled upon the remains of his own home. The memory of that devastating hurricane returned with crystal clarity. He had arrived too late, finding only destruction and despair. But this time, he was determined not to fail. With every ounce of his strength, he entered the rubble-strewn house, carefully sifting through debris. And there, beneath a fallen beam, he found it. A small, cherished music box that had once lulled Lily to sleep with a soft, haunting melody. It was broken, tarnished by the ravages of time and weather, but for Paul, it was a precious artifact of the past. A piece of his family that he refused to let the storm claim. Emerging from the wreckage with the music box in hand, Paul witnessed the hurricane's wrath intensify. The once persistent rain now became a torrential downpour. The wind howled like a banshee, as if mourning the town's imminent demise. Paul knew he needed to hurry. The hurricane was closing in, and its powerful eye was nearly upon him. As he retraced his steps through the desolation, he couldn't help but feel that the Tempest itself was an embodiment of Emily's restless spirit, both punishing and calling out to him. Finally, he reached the outskirts of Harbor's End, with the storm's colossal eye mere moments away. As the relentless hurricane bore down upon him, he clutched the damaged music box tightly, the photograph of Emily and Lily still tucked within it. With an unyielding resolve, he shouted their names into the maw of the storm. As if in response, the Tempest's fury began to wane, and the once churning sea grew calm. Paul felt an inexplicable warmth enveloping him, a ghostly, ethereal embrace. It was as though the storm had allowed him to atone for the past, to say a final goodbye. With the hurricane slowly receding into the distance, Paul Weston, battered and drenched, stood on the outskirts of Harbor's End. The music box remained intact, its delicate tune breaking the eerie silence. The photograph, slightly tattered but still preserved, showed Emily and Lily smiling as if they had found peace within the Tempest's reckoning. Paul knew he couldn't remain in the ruins of Harbor's End. With the storm now gone, he turned his back on the decimated town and walked away, cradling the music box as a cherished memento of the love he had lost and the closure he had found within the heart of the hurricane. In the days that followed, as the town began to rebuild, Paul Weston visited the cemetery where his wife and daughter were laid to rest. He placed the music box on their shared grave, its haunting melody playing softly in the wind. In that moment, he felt a sense of peace, as though Emily and Lily had finally found the solace they deserved. And as the music box played on, the memory of the Tempest reckoning became a testament to the enduring power of love, loss, and the strength to weather even the most devastating of storms.